everyone, and welcome to Tuesday's Wrestling Talk, or as we call it now, the top 100 wrestlers. And one thing we don't do, as we did on the Facebook the first time, the top 100 wrestlers of all time. That caused a lot of grief during this time. But now it's just our top 100 list. Mine, everyone saw. If you are a Facebook, you're on our Facebook, you're one of the insiders, you have seen it. Ron Fuller, the Tennessee stud, number 96 on my list. Some people, when I put him on a list over 2 years ago when we started Pro Wrestling Inside Out, some people said he shouldn't be there. But I believe when you go back and look at Ron Fuller's career, you go back to 1970 when he started. From 1970 to 1974, he wrestled for Championship Wrestling from Florida. Tremendous crowds. He had tremendous crowds. 1974, he buys his own territory, Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Not a very major success at the beginning, but then he goes to Memphis and sells out the Mid-South Coliseum several weeks in a row as the champion. I think he might have been what was their champion there? The Southern Heavyweight Champion?
I believe so.
He goes there, sells out that building, sells out Louisville. He sells out a ton of buildings there, comes back to Knoxville, starts selling those places out, the Coliseum and in Johnson City. Then he goes, buys the Gulf Coast territory, draws a lot of money there. And I'm not talking about booking it. I'm talking about main event wrestler on the cards, drew tremendous crowds. Then he does Continental Championship Wrestling, and again, tremendous crowds again. So Ron Fuller, I believe, deserves to be in a top 100 list in professional wrestling because he really did draw a lot of money in wrestling. All right, Rodney, number 96.
Number 96, Johnny Weaver.
Johnny Weaver. Now explain to people why you feel Johnny Weaver
Johnny Weaver was a mainstay in the Mid-Atlantic. I mean, just a huge draw. I mean, I'm not talking about just a little bit. He was a big draw in all throughout the Carolinas for Jim Crockett Promotions. And then later on, he becomes a ring announcer and occasionally come out of retirement, hit that ring. People went nuts. People go nuts when he would get back in the ring. So Johnny Weaver for me, 96.
I will agree with Johnny Weaver. I didn't see Johnny Weaver wrestle a lot, but do know who he is and know that he drew a lot of money in the Carolinas. Jack, what do you think about Ron Fuller on my list, number 96? Rodney's Johnny Weaver, and then we'll see who's on your list.
I definitely have him in my top 100. And while I don't have him at 96, I am keeping it in the family. And I'm going with Jimmy Golden.
Jimmy Golden. Yes, I will agree. Jimmy Golden, one of the greatest wrestlers to put on the parapet. And he knew what he was doing. Jimmy Golden knew what he was doing. So explain to the people why Jimmy Golden deserves to be top 100.
This was a utility guy. He could do anything you ask him to do. Aside the fact that he was always a pleasure to be around and so easy to get along with, but there was just nothing he couldn't do in that ring. I don't care if he was a good guy. I don't care if he was a bad guy. Whatever he was, he played those roles to the hilt. And everything he did was believable. And I credit him again to one of those many guys I was able to get in the ring with that made me look good. And that's a task.
I don't think that is a task, but when you look at Jimmy Golden, you look at Robert Fuller, Ron Fuller, very knowledgeable people, very knowledgeable, and definitely Ron Fuller, Jimmy Golden. I agree with that, and Johnny Weaver. We definitely think he should be there. Well, I haven't looked at our chats yet. Do we already have some, Rodney?
Yes.
All right, so let's go see what everybody's got to say. Glenn Shelton is with us. Richard Hood is with us as well. Dr. Phil Bogrice. And he's got that brand new grandson that he is around right now. Daniel Lang. By the way, folks, Daniel Lang gave us a book. Let me see if I can grab this book. And this will come up soon. We we soon on YouTube, we go over Mark James' book. What does it say? 1977, The War for Memphis. Mark James, Daniel Lane sent this to us, and we started reading it.
We should have just looked at the pictures.
Jack, let me ask you this question: what happened during this? It
didn't matter if you and I disagreed with what was written. Rodney was very upset. Rodney went on a Kevin Sullivan type rampage, and the rest of us were over here just sipping tea, going.
So that will be coming up not this week, but next week. Be watching on the YouTube channel. We're going to do another one tonight. If you're a supporter, we're going to read a little bit more of the pages of this, and Rodney may have a heart attack as we do it tonight.
I'm
in very good shape. There'll be no heart attacks.
There will
and let's emphasize that we still recommend this book. Whether we agree with some of the things you wrote or not, just from a pictorial standpoint, this book is fantastic.
Yeah,
and $22.99 on Amazon. I mean, that's a huge book, and that's not a bad price at all for a book that size.
Mark James has got a lot of books on there, but this is a good book. We may not agree with everything he wrote in here, but it's a pretty good book. All right, but anyway, I just wanted to say that for the supporters, and for those of you who are supporters, you missed something. You missed something last night. It was fun, and then it continued after we were videotaping it because we do some stuff afterwards and before that never gets aired. So it was interesting. Do you guys remember when Weaver was the ultimate assassin, feuding with Assassin One in a stolen mask?
I don't remember that, but I bet it was fantastic.
Do you remember that, Jack? Because I know you watched.
No, that was probably a little.
What year, Daniel? What year was that? Do you know what year that was?
I would have liked to seen that. That would have been good. All right, I think I jumped down. Billy Jack Haynes is going to be in his Richard Hood's top 100.
Okay.
He's in my top 100, but not for greatest wrestler.
Let me check my list.
He is way out there. Hey, even Missy believes.
Yeah. Missy's sitting down here at my feet. She's upset about it.
Chad Mojo Hitter Coleman said, "Hi guys, how y'all doing? How you doing?" Rocky King, number 96, Rocky King, Mickey Mayfield. What do you think, Jack? Rocky King?
He didn't make my top 100, but I have a lot of love for Rocky King as a person, as a performer. I thought he was great in the ring. I think if he had gotten certain breaks, he most certainly should have been in a top 100 list.
Always looked tremendous. Always looked like a star. Always looked good. He just didn't get that break for some reason, and he deserved it because he was a good wrestler.
Oh yeah,
Rodney,
he's a great humanitarian too. Outside the ring, so.
Rocky King.
Yeah, Rocky King, fantastic wrestler. I think if he'd have put a little bit more weight on, I think he was smaller. I think that he would have got a bigger push, but just tremendous. And anything you saw him in, he was given 100%. No bad matches with Rocky.
Daniel Lang said the Masked Superstar. By the way, the Masked Superstar, I believe Jack is has some health problems, doesn't he?
Yeah, he had COVID back in January. He kind of got over that and was doing some appearances. Started taking the COVID shots. He took the first one. No problems. The second one has flared up. A lot of heart issues, though.
Oh, wow.
Always one of the greatest wrestlers. Eadie, tremendous wrestler. Rodney, Masked Superstar, number 96.
Yes, he may or may not be in my list. I just want to let you know.
I believe Masked Superstar is way higher on my list. So Dennis Condrey, the top 100. Dennis Condrey's way down on the list. And when we put him on the list, people just had their minds exploded because we put Dennis Condrey on the list. But they didn't know how well Dennis Condrey and how much money he had drew in the wrestling business. Not only did he draw as the Midnight Express, but he also drove money with Dennis Condrey, David Schultz, Dennis Condrey, Phil Hickerson. He drew money from almost the time he started.
Dennis Condrey and Don Carson. So, yeah, he primarily a tag team, but we saw him in Continental in a singles position, and he was doing great in it. And we saw him in Southeastern in Knoxville. He was the Southeastern heavyweight champion, Dennis Condrey, and he was great. And as the Georgia heavyweight champion, he was great. And Dad would always ask us when Dennis Condrey was wrestling, he'd always get in the car and he said, who had the best match? And the same answer was every time, Dennis Condrey. And it's the truth. Dennis Condrey.
We forget Dennis Condrey, Randy Rose.
That's right.
Southeastern Championship Wrestling, the original Midnight Express. Tremendous. When Norville Austin, I believe, was also in that part of that equation as well. But to me, anytime Dennis Condrey wrestled, it was gold. It was gold. He knew psychology. He knew everything. So I agree with Dennis Condrey. But I don't know about y'all, but he's way down on my list. I don't know about y'all's. Now, he may or may not be on Rodney's list. So
let's see. He may or may not be on my list. That is right.
I thought it was close. I just wanted to tell everyone.
Yes.
Michael Rollerson. Rawlerson. Michael, I get your name right one time and get it wrong the next. I think that's the old timers coming up on me now. Good evening, fellows. Well, good evening to you, Michael, as well. Stuart Kemp, how you doing, Stuart? Terrence Hardy, number 96, Pedro Morales, former WWF heavyweight champion, and I think he was also the Intercontinental champion, wasn't he?
Yes, I believe you're correct.
Yep.
If you didn't get a chance, you got to see Pedro Morales against Dick Slater in Florida. That was awesome. Have you seen that, Jack?
Mm-hmm.
That was Slater and Morales. It was great. And Slater he was on top of his game in that one. It was great.
So Pedro Morales, much lower on my list. Jack, did he make your list?
He certainly did.
Rodney, he may or may not have made his list.
He may have not made it or not made. He may not have made it. Or
we need to get a T-shirt, but he may or may not.
on my list.
Ron Fuller was big at Dothan. Yes. Ron.
Let me. Can I comment about this moron, if I may say this moron, that said that Ron Fuller should not be on the list? This man or this person obviously had never seen Ron wrestle. Yeah. This person's a moron because Ron could do anything. He's 6'9", 270-pound, threw one of the best drop kicks you could ever see, and again, it's all based on, well, did you ever wrestle in Madison Square Garden? Ron Fuller didn't need to wrestle in Madison Square Garden. If he did, he would have got over. I'm not saying that he didn't, but I think he did say he wrestled. But anyway, he could get over anywhere in any capacity. He would want to go.
Yes,
he's just that talented.
At the beginning of his career, Eddie Graham sent him there because the Championship Wrestling from Florida played in New York.
Right. That is right.
And so he was over when he got there because he had been pushed so much on television. So Ron Fuller could have drew anywhere he went. If Ron Fuller wanted to go to World Championship Wrestling, to Jim Crockett Promotions, I don't care. Wherever he went, he would have drew money because Ron Fuller knew how to do it.
Yeah, and he was solid. Just ask anybody who worked against him.
Yes, he would hit you. So Victor Nash is with us, and Victor is fixed to tell us the number 96. He said last night on the Wrestling Conversation that he was going to shake it up a little bit. He was stir it up. We'll see what he's got. Richard Hood considers in his top 100. I would agree with that. And Victor Nash, are you ready? Here, wait a minute. Are you ready? You're Victor Nash, number 96. Well, you must be way on down there because I don't see where he's at. I did all that.
Well, we were ready.
He must be way down there. Fuller deserves to be in the list. Yes. Victor Dash, number 96. Was it just 96? Is the guy named 96?
That is right. It is number 96. I remember that. He's the brother of 95 and, of course, 97. You might not know that.
So he was the Get Smart people, then, wasn't he?
That's right.
The Get Smart guys. Rodney Malcolm, one of the best baby faces of his era, and I would think he was talking. We were talking about a few people, so
probably Johnny Weaver, I would assume.
Yes, I would think it was Johnny Weaver as well. Jason Mundy, Johnny Weaver was also a deputy sheriff in Charlotte. Number 96, Charles Bell Flowers said Crazy Luke Graham. Now he didn't say Crazy Luke. I put it on there because that's Crazy Luke Graham. Yeah, I would agree with that. He also had the thumb. Him and Ernie Ladd both had that thumb that they used. By the way, who had it first, Luke Graham, Ernie Ladd? I'm thinking Luke Graham.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. I love that when Luke Graham would do that sledgehammer, which he would come way back and then he would like sneak up on the guy and hit him in the back. I thought that was awesome.
Luke Graham was over in Chattanooga, Tennessee, like nobody. I mean, he was over. Even in 1982, I think it was 1982, when Buzz Sawyer and Tommy Rich started their feud really big time in Chattanooga at the Memorial Auditorium, Crazy Luke Graham was there. And at some point, there was a couple of people beating up Tommy Rich. And I think it might have been Matt Bourne and Buzz Sawyer. I'm not for sure. But they were beating him up, and Crazy Luke Graham was on the stage, and he was going back and forth, and the people were going nuts, and they were asking him to come down, and finally he went down them steps, and he kicked some tail, and the people went nuts. In Georgia Championship Wrestling fashion, never did go do nothing with it.
That's right.
Never did nothing with it.
Nope. Just
made no sense.
I don't even think he was on the card the next time.
I don't think he was either. Crazy stuff. That just makes no sense. Adrian Harper Jr., Mike Jackson should be in the top 100 as well. I think we've talked about that. We do believe that he should. Did we do? I already hit that one. I remember hitting that one prior. Rodney is so secretive with his list. Nixon should have put him in charge of Watergate. I'll put the Love Brothers with the manager, beautiful Bruce Swayze for Rodney. Hey, Bob, Hartford and Reginald Love was tremendous wrestlers, though. Have y'all seen them wrestle? Now, they were pretty good.
Yeah.
So I give. Now you put three people in there, though. I don't know about beautiful Bruce. I don't know about that because he needs to talk to Ole. Talk to Ole.
That's right. Have Ole call me.
We never have told that story. We're going to have to tell that story since we're always saying that. Crazy. Terrence Hardy, when you are the booker, you push yourself wrong? No, I don't think so. What do you think, Jack?
No, I don't think you push yourself wrong. I know some of them are guilty of pushing themselves too much at times. I don't know that it's wrong because if it's drawing, it's not wrong.
I agree. Rodney?
A lot of time the booker is the only one he can make sure or be assured that he's going to show up to the town. So he always keeps himself in a good position. Even if that is the main event, he always keeps himself in a good position. You never know when you're going to have to step up to get in that main event or have to fill in for somebody, or you never know when somebody's going to, but you could always trust yourself to be there. And I get why they push themselves.
Yes, I do too. And if you're ever a promoter, you'd figure out why they want the booker to wrestle and be on the main event. By the way, we've talked about this. We're going to have to do and we might do this next Monday. I'm not for sure. We'll talk about it a little bit more, but we're going to talk a little bit about what it takes to be a promoter of professional wrestling, how much it really costs to run a wrestling show. and very important. And so if you're a wrestler, if you're a promoter, if you're we're going to break it down. People might enjoy knowing what exactly it takes and how long it takes for you to put together a show. Dr. Philbo Grice, Jimmy Golden was versatile, face or heel, and could turn in 1 week. Yeah, he did turn too many times, though.
Yes. I've always said there's always at least 3 people you do not want to be a partner with because they will eventually turn on you, and that's Ole Anderson, Jerry Stubbs, and Jimmy Golden. That's absolutely the truth. But let me tell you, when it comes to Jimmy Golden, as Jack said, there is nothing he can't do. Could have been a star anywhere he went. Yep. Anywhere he went.
I did not agree with the bunkhouse buck gimmick. I thought Jimmy Golden was too good to do that gimmick. They could have put that on somebody that did not have to wrestle. Yep. When Jimmy Golden could have wrestled tremendously and didn't have to have that bunkhouse buck gimmick. So, but hey, he worked for how long there? A couple of years, maybe 6.
Several years. He had a good run
and made probably pretty good money during that. Kevin Penley, Mr. Howdy Doody. Bob Backlund. I actually have a Howdy Doody doll. It's somewhere in here. I may have to put him up here and call him Bob Backlund and let him talk and do an interview with him. So I have to do that somewhere down the line. Chad Mojo Jimmy Valient. He was on somebody else's list last week. He probably wouldn't be on my list. We talked about that. He probably wouldn't be on my list, but I think he's a tremendous wrestler and drew a lot of money. He was on my list to begin with, but certain people took the spot. And when you got 1,000 wrestlers to go with, or if not more, some people ain't going to make it. Rodney, I'm saying he may or may not be on your list.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
All right, Jack, we got to talk about this because I think you just put a match on, and I believe it was this, but maybe it wasn't. Les Thornton, top 100. Did you not? Was there not a match with Les Thornton and Tony Charles that you just put on?
There was, yes, very excellent wrestling match that I thought some folks could learn from.
Great matches. Tony Charles, Les Thornton, true tremendous wrestlers. Les Thornton, Rodney, would he make your top 100?
He may or may not be there, but he deserves to be there for sure.
Yes, he does. I don't know that he made my list. I don't. Like I said, I don't remember. I have not went back. I only know after we do this show, the very next day is when I know what I picked 2 years ago. I do not remember. I do not remember what I did yesterday. So I certainly ain't going to remember the top 100 from Tony Charles and his top 100. Richard Hood said, Rick Brooks. Hello all. How you doing, Rick? Good to see you on here as well. Victor Nash, number 96, the 10-time AWA World Heavyweight Champion Verne Gagne.
Okay.
I agree with that. I don't know why he's going to shake things up.
He's got him so low, I'm sure. That's what he's got. He got him at 96, got him at the lower end. So
but now, okay, here's the thing. I got to ask this question. Now this might make some people mad, but I'm just going to ask this question. And we might have said this before. Did Verne Gagne start his own territory so he could be world champion?
The answer to the question is yes, he did.
Jack?
I agree with that.
Would he have been world heavyweight champion? Now, I'm not saying he was not a great professional wrestler. He was one of the greatest amateur wrestlers of all time. He could probably beat everybody. There probably wasn't nobody that could beat him. I don't even know if Luthez could have. Now, here's the question. Would he have ever been champion? Would he have ever been champion without owning his own territory? Would anybody would have gave him the world heavyweight championship? I don't believe he would have been.
No, I think at most he would have been a junior heavyweight champion. But this is an example of an owner booker putting themselves and knowing how to groom themselves for the right position.
Because he did draw a lot of money.
He did draw a lot of money, and you can't take that away from him. But he knew what he had to do to get himself over. He understood his audience. And if you'll watch their shows, AWA was a different animal, just like New York was a different animal than everybody else. But he understood his audience, and that's very important. I thought for many, many years, he was brilliant.
Yeah,
he just failed to change with the times.
Yeah, he really did. He did not want to go with the times. Rodney Verne Gagne, or as we called him, Gagne.
Verne Gagne, yes. He said that to Jerry Stubbs. He almost fell out of the car because that's what we called him, Verne Gagne. No, he deserves to be there for sure.
Yes.
There's nothing more needs to be said, I think.
Number 96, Michael said Buzz Sawyer. Buzz was a workhorse. Buzz Sawyer, I don't care what people say about Buzz Sawyer. And a lot of people talk about Buzz Sawyer, but they never really watched him wrestle. They've heard the stories that the Undertaker has said about him or Magnum TA. And I'm not saying they ain't true, because they are. They probably are. Knowing Buzz Sawyer, every bit of it's true. But when he stepped inside that ring, there was no better than Buzz Sawyer. He could whip you in no time flat. I don't think there's many people who could beat Buzz Sawyer. He was a tough person. So I believe Buzz Sawyer deserves to be there, no doubt. Jack?
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree with Buzz. Great guy. In the ring.
Yeah, it's absolutely solid, believable wrestler. Just tremendous.
Daniel Lang said around 84 or 85. So I'm thinking is he talking about a year?
Yeah, that would be. I would assume that was when all the assassins were there with Paul Jones. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I know we didn't watch it during that time. So hello, I am here. Michael Barr has made it. He was made it. And now yesterday Rodney said he was off doing something. I'm not for sure what he said now.
Well, Michael said he was at the doctor, and we wish him the best on that.
But I'll just leave it.
Pork Chop Cash should be up there. Pork Chop Cash, very nice guy. Pork Chop is,
yes, he should be there. And if you want to talk about somebody who knew what he was doing as soon as that bell rang, it was Pork Chop Cash. He knew psychology. He was brilliant. Absolutely
Pork Chop
brilliant.
Cash was only 185 pounds, but he looked like he was 230.
Yeah,
he was, and could go. He could go.
I felt so bad for him when they put old Mad Dog or whatever his name was, the Bruise Brothers with him. If they would have put anybody else with Pork Chop Cash and UWF, or I guess it was Mid-South when they first came in there.
Mid-South,
yeah. Man, if they would have put anybody else with them, anybody, they could have put Frankie the Thumper Lancaster.
Let's not go. You've went too far now. You went way too far.
What'd you put in your tea?
Steve-O. I never think about Steve. Steve-O top 100. Is Steve-O still with us? Is he still alive?
I believe so. I want to say he's an insurance salesman. I may not be right about that, but
I would love to talk to Steve-O. I would love to talk to him. He was always a nice man. He always respectful with us. Always was nice to us. I always liked Steve-O. He was
awesome. Bruce
Monkey, loved superstar. Yes. Michael Barr said, "How about Roberto Soto?"
Yes. Yeah, Roberto knew what he was doing.
You think Roberto Soto deserves to be in the top 100?
I thought he was great. He didn't make my top 100, but he could have, and probably should have, I guess.
Yeah, he was a very good wrestler. Very good wrestler. Knew what he was doing as well. Victor Nash. My number 96 was also tied with the largest gimmick, literally, the Big Machine, a.k.a. Now, I want you to know that Jack also was a big machine as well. He was either the big machine, the strong machine,
Super Machine.
I think I was just the machine. I was showing we were watching that Andre the Giant special from last, I guess it was Sunday night. I had taped it, and me and my youngest daughter, she loves those shows. So it's the WWE's Treasures, Lost Treasures, whatever that show is on A&E. It's a very good episode on Andre the Giant. Of course, his story's been told a lot of times, but it was told in a different way this time. Very good. But the machine mask was one of the items they went for. And I went through some old pictures and showed my daughter when I was the machine. And she was like, "So you were Andre the Giant?" And I said, "No, but I did have a mullet like that." So.
First time I ever saw Jack, he was actually doing the machine. He was wrestling as the machine, and this was sometime maybe in '84, maybe 85. But that's the first time I ever saw him. He was wrestling with Mickey Henry in a high school gymnasium, and he was doing the gimmick for the machine. I'll remember that. Adrian Harper, Gorgeous George should be in the top 100. Yes. Yeah, I know. I believe he's in my top 100. Jack, Gorgeous George, did he make it?
He did make it.
And
he farther down on the list.
We'll just quit asking Rodney because he ain't going to tell us ever if any one of these people are on his list.
Well, he may be. You never know.
Gorgeous George was not the original. There was somebody else before him that did that whole gimmick before him. He just stole that from somebody. But he did it better because he knew how to market himself.
Yep.
The other guy didn't know how to market himself. So he actually knew how to market it and make it work. Drew a lot of money. Wahoo McDaniel should be in the top 100. Yes, he's going to be way down on my list. Well, Rick Brooks said, I'm going with the old timer, mainly known for tag team wrestling, El Costello. Yes. Very good wrestler, very good manager when he was managing. Tremendous. Y'all agree with that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Michael Barr asked, what happened to Boomer Lynch? I tried to get in touch with Boomer Lynch on Facebook. Is he still with us? Because he never got back with me. That don't mean he's on Facebook anymore.
I have no idea. I haven't heard anything from him in forever.
Tom Lentz was his real name, I believe. Something Lentz. Letz, I believe was his real name. Funny man. He was a funny guy. He was tremendous. We really enjoyed time with Boomer, and Boomer was over. While he was in Continental and Southeastern. Ricky Gibson is going to be in his top 100. Daniel Lang said that Pedro was two-time Intercontinental Champion and WWL's first Triple Crown Champion. Michael Barr, Ron Fuller was a great wrestler. Hubert Whitehead Jr., Ron Fuller Welch, Kevin Penley. Just think of those wrestlers that had basketball backgrounds. Ron Fuller, Undertaker, Kevin Nash, George Goulas. Hey, I saw, talking about that, Jeff Jarrett was somewhere where George Goulas was, and George was refereeing a basketball match.
Wow.
There's a photograph on Facebook that he took with him. I thought that was interesting. George Goulas might end up being. Hey, we're talking about that. Jeff Jarrett still working for WWE?
I'm really not sure if he is or not. I saw where he was thinking about starting back wrestling again because he said he had spent all last year during the pandemic getting himself, back in shape. So apparently he's not.
Why did Robert Fuller wear white tennis shoes during matches at one time? Maybe he didn't have no boots.
That could be it. He might have lost some in the match.
I don't
wrestling tennis shoes.
I don't remember that happening.
Oh, no.
Maybe he did.
Where would Tiger Conway Jr. fit in, Jack?
I like Tiger Conway Jr. He did not make my top 100.
Yeah, we won't ask Rodney, but I'll just say, should Tiger Conway Jr. be in the top 100?
Sure, but he's probably he might. I don't know. He may or may not be in my list.
Robert Gibson, top 100. Robert did not make my top 100 list. Not saying that he was not a great wrestler. Not that he was a good wrestler, but he did not make my list, unfortunately. Jack?
I'm going to tell you, Robert didn't, and I'll tell you who else didn't. Ricky Morton didn't. And that's simply because they're so intertwined as a tag team that I save them for later on when we do the top tag teams. And that's solely the reason. Because both of them individually, I think, do deserve to be in the top 100.
I would ask Rodney, but we know that he may or may not be on his list.
That is correct.
I'm asking that question. Good evening to all of you from Shannon, Kathleen Moore. How you doing? Victor Nash said, "Keep going, keep going." What we're talking about. We'll keep on going and keep on tracking. Ernie Ladd, Chris Baxter, Ernie Ladd, the big cat. Yes, I think he's way lower on my list as well.
Mine too. And I think Rodney's, but he won't say.
Weaver was the ultimate assassin in '83. Terrence Hardy said it was 1983. At that time, we were.
I did not get to the. I lived right outside of Savannah from '84 to '85. So I by the time I got there, Johnny was only sporadically still doing anything in the ring. He was mostly doing commentary and announcing, whatever.
You know, he was a good commentator, I thought.
Yeah, he really was.
I liked him. Michael Barr said that Rodney's, your math is off according to today's mathematical equation.
Well, I thought that was absolutely spot on. If you go with, we were at 96, so we were talking about Victor's, so that would be number 96. So he's the brother of 97 and 95. I believe that's correct. I think my math was right on.
Ron Simmons, top 100. Yes, I would agree with Ron. The Monkeys should be in there. Jack, should the Monkeys be in this list? Chris
They did not make my top 100. Really what we ought to do eventually is a top 100 underappreciated wrestlers.
Yes.
Now, those guys should be in the top 20 of that.
Yes, I agree. Drew a lot of money in the North Carolina area with the Midnight Express. And Rodney, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go. I know the Monkeys didn't make his top 100 list.
would have been done with this show 10 minutes ago if Rodney could check faster.
Tim Woods, top 100. I would agree with Tim.
Yes. Yeah, he's great.
He did not make my list. Now I will tell you, he did not make my list. I'm pretty sure he did. But Jack, would he have made your list?
He did. He did.
Gimmick infringement. Gimmick infringement. Going on right. Wendel Cooley, top 100. I don't think Wendel Cooley would make my top 100. I love Wendel Cooley. Thought he was a tremendous wrestler. But talking about gimmick infringement, he would steal a lot of people's gimmicks.
He stole my gimmick. I still like him.
Yeah, I love Wendel Cooley. Wendel Cooley, great guy. It wasn't the greatest guy, 1985, 586. But Wendel Cooley was the type of guy it took you a while to get to know him. Once you got to know him, then you understood him. Yeah. And that was the thing. You had to get to know him first to understand. Kevin, was it All South or IWA that taped in Oglethorpe, Georgia? That was All South. That was Ann Gunkel that taped at the now, she didn't tape there long ago, did she? She eventually went to TBS, correct? Or not TBS, it would have been WTCG back then, I guess. Or it could have been that the W before it even changed to that. Cornell Bryant, my father and mother wrestled in Gulf Coast. There you go. We've talked with him before. Chief Little Eagle and Venus LaRue. That's
what a name. Yeah, Venus LaRue.
Venus LaRue. Now, see, that's a wrestling name right there.
Yep.
The star.
Venus LaRue. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to look your mother up. I like to see about you because we know Chief Little Eagle. Now, everybody should know who Chief Little Eagle is. How about George South? George South, tremendous. I made my top 100, but George South, tremendous professional wrestler.
Again, that underappreciated wrestlers list, it'd be in the top 5.
By the way, George South is on the same list with the Monkeys.
Oh man, they thought Bunkhouse Bank went well with Terry Funk. Yeah, I believe it worked well. It worked well. They had great matches with Dusty Rhodes. I think Dustin didn't they have matches? Terry Funk, Bunkhouse Bunk have matches with Dusty and Dustin.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Chris Baxter said Les Thornton was great. Yes, he was. Richard Hood, Rodney, Ric Flair, and Eddie Gilbert were turned on you too. This is true. This is true. Yeah, you're right. Eddie Gilbert was good at turning on people. Cornell Bryant said his favorite wrestler was Ken Lucas.
Yeah.
Ken was good. Bubba Griffin. You know what? I don't believe he's been with us in a while.
Hey, Bubba.
Pensacola in the house. Daniel Lane, Tony Charles, and Billy Robertson in Memphis for the CWA World Title was tremendous. Bill Dundee had some great matches with Tony Charles. Tremendous matches with. But Verne was over. Yes, Verne was over. Now we don't. Even Greg Gagne was over.
Yeah.
If you think about it. Chad, Rodney, you. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Rodney, you, while giving that face, the man of the man, I choose it. Do you think about Scott Stenton?
Scott Steiner, I think is what he meant. Scott Steiner's famous mathematical equation promo that he did, 33 1/3% chance.
Oh, see, I don't know. I didn't. I tried not to watch too much of Scott Steiner, so I don't.
That's the only promo he ever did that I enjoyed.
Bubba Griffin, Sheep Herders and the Stomper. I would agree with that. They did not make my list. Neither all 3 or 4, because there was actually 3 Sheep Herders at some point in time. Butch Miller. Now, Josh, it wasn't that funny. So, what was the Sheep Herders? What were they? Butch Miller, Lord Jonathan Boyd. What was the other one?
Luke
Williams.
Luke Williams, yeah.
Right, there we go. Jerry Stubbs and Bob Armstrong. If it'll go on there, yeah. Jerry Stubbs, Bob Armstrong. Yes, Bob Armstrong, very low on my very low on my list. Also, Jerry Stubbs is on the list, no doubt. Jerry could have been a big star.
Yep.
In NWA, he could have been one of the 4 horsemen. There's no doubt.
Yep.
He was that good. Chris Baxter, yes, Verne would have been champ. I mean, seriously, Bob Backlund was champ.
Well, Bob Backlund was a young, good-looking guy. He fit the mold of what the WWF was looking for at the time. Verne, during that same time period, already looked like he was 60 years old.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think Verne would have been a world champion anywhere else just from his appearance. I mean, Verne could go. There was no denying that. But Verne did not go to the gym. So.
Yeah, this is true. Steve Kern was also going to be picked to be the WWF champion. But they chose Bob Backlund instead and was sent to Eddie Graham to get him ready to be the world heavyweight champion. And Bob Backlund did a very good job at being the champion.
I really enjoyed Bob.
Yeah, I had good matches. Yeah. He had good matches with the people. So,
well, I thought he did the job he was supposed to do.
Yeah. And he did very well. How long was he a champion, Rodney? Do you remember?
Let's see. So it would have been, was it 77? So it would have been 78, all the way to 5 years. So 5
Not
years
as long as
consecutive.
Bruno, right?
No.
Bruno held it for maybe 8 years
12, I thought.
Yeah, 12 is what I'm thinking. Combined.
because he did lose it and then win it back, and
Yeah.
so. Chris Baxter, Buzz was an incredible worker. Yes, he was. We've seen him have such great matches with people. I mean, just tremendous matches. Norman Carr said Pork Chop Cash. We agree with that. For Buzz, higher on the list. Glenn Allen said higher on the list. It wasn't a work with Buzz. I'm not for sure it wasn't. No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I think every time he went. Buzz is in his high 70s. Anyone have Ivan Putski? There was some people that had Ivan Putski maybe 2 or 3 shows ago, maybe on the top 100. But no, I do not have Ivan Putski on my list. And Rodney may or may not have it, and he will not tell us. But Ivan Putski not on my list. Rodney, Jack, Rodney ain't gonna tell me.
I will answer that. Maybe for Rodney. For me, no.
Chris, now you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. When I put this up here, both of y'all are going to fall out of your chairs and wonder why he should ever be in the top 100. Rocking and roll Buck Zumhoff. He had to be telling a joke on that.
Hold on, I got to call somebody over there.
I don't know. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but Zumhoff ain't getting my vote. Even I don't even think he'd be in the top 1,000.
Yeah.
Bubba Griffin, Terry Gordy.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but he's way down.
Yeah.
Terry was so good. Verne Gagne.
Verne Gagne.
You guys just made my grandmother turn over in her grave. Verne was her favorite.
Well, when we were younger, we saw his name in the magazines, and that's what we called him, Verne Gagne.
And we didn't do it out of.
We didn't know any better.
Oh, I was already in the business before I heard somebody say his name because I thought that's how you pronounced it too. You know, in the South, we have a very straightforward way of pronouncing things. So
we wouldn't have got that.
I still don't see
out of that at all.
Yeah,
I don't
see Where's a ya?
Yeah, like I said, we said Verne Gagne to Jerry Stubbs, and he about fell out of the car laughing so hard.
Billy was half the super machine. Yes, he was one of the Carlos Colon. You know what? I have to give it to Carlos Colon.
Carlos was
very successful in Puerto Rico and drew a lot of money there. We'll have to tell the story one time about our father making his way to Puerto Rico, special guest referee with Carlos Colon, Dutch Mantel in the main event. And we'll have to tell that story as he made his way to Puerto Rico and the whole story. But we'll probably do that on the supporter channel because there's some stories in that maybe we don't want to share worldwide with people. But very interesting story about his time going to Puerto Rico, and I can't even remember what year this was. Nature Boy Buddy Rogers truly deserves to be there. Chris Baxter said Johnny Rodz. I'm all right with Johnny Rodz being in our top 100. He was very good. The boss, Thunderbolt Patterson. I would agree with that. Thunderbolt Patterson, I think, is way down on my list. Such great stuff. Bubba Griffin, the show with Charlie was awesome. Thank you so much, Charlie. Very. We put that on our Facebook today for people to go watch, and he is good.
And
how about Bobby?
That got shared in several other groups today. Also, I saw.
Good deal. How about Bobby Eaton? Bobby Eaton on my list, no doubt. By the way,
you should have seen the two of us in a Mustang the other day.
July 10th, Saturday, July 10th, Arab, Alabama. Will Bobby Eaton be there that particular?
Bobby will be back. Bobby's a part of our staff. Bobby also does appearances for us. At the meet and greets and during the show and everything. Bobby's a huge help to our talent there.
All right. We're going to have to move on. We had a couple of more, but we're going to have to move on because we're on our way to our supporter page where we're going to have Rodney's mind explode once again as we read a little bit more about this and look at some of the pictures that's inside of here. That's coming up next week. Next Monday, we come live 7:30. We're every Monday night. If you're watching this on the replay, every Monday and Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Join us. We have a great time here, and we what about 45 minutes? We're on here about 45 minutes. So be a part of these shows if you're watching us on the replay. Rodney, anything we need to talk about before we leave?
We offended somebody. He don't want me to say that about they may or may not be on my list anymore.
Oops.
I'm not going to say it again. He said he'll be out of here. He's going to leave the territory if I say it.
I'll tell you how to deal with people that offend you or that you offend.
And one more time, we'll leave the territory. I see Charleston. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much. Thank everybody for being a part of it. If you want to become a supporter, it's very easy. Go to Facebook and become a supporter. It's only $2.99 a month. And t-shirts, prowrestlingtees.com/pro wrestling inside and out. Support the channel, and we have a good time on the supporter channel, so it's always a good time, and we're going to be talking about some stuff coming up that you'll really enjoy. Thank y'all so much. We'll see everybody next Monday night as we continue our look. Maybe we'll do some stuff that gets people just riled up on Monday. Maybe we need to, for the first time in a long time, maybe we just.
Yeah, you don't even have to go to my Facebook page for it now.
That's true.
Bubba, we're glad you're back. We've missed you on here. We're sorry about your house, and we're glad you're back.
Jack started a big thing on his Facebook page, and I believe we need to talk about that and kind of give the people a background on promoters and what it takes to be a promoter and how much and also if you're a professional wrestler, what is the etiquette about asking or being asked? There's some etiquette there that will keep people from being mad at you and vice versa. Now, I'm not gonna say it's all wrestlers, so there are some promoters that you have to watch out for. And we'll talk about that next Monday night. So I think it'll be fun for everybody. We'll see everybody next week. We're off, and we'll see you everybody next week, Monday and Tuesday. Hey, make sure you get your number 95. We'll see you next week.